5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Welcome, welcome. Here we are again at the Global Empowerment Summit, and I am with another guest, Pearl Lawrence, and she's an amazing woman and doing so many amazing things. And I just want her to introduce herself because we are a little bit late with coming online. So let's just jump in straight into the middle. Pearl, introduce yourself.
Thank you so much, Andrea. My name is Pearl Lawrence, and I am a youth and women rights activist. I'm from a Southern African country named Lesotho. I'm also part of the Commonwealth National Youth Delegates, as well as the vice chairperson for our interim National Youth Council. Thank you.
Beautiful, and you are so young, and it's such a big title. And I'm always amazed about people who are already knowing what they want at such an early age. I couldn't really know. All that I wanted to know is that I want to dance when I was at your age. So it's kind of like that's all. But then, yeah, I ended up to be all of the things. Different things at the same time. So today we will talk about a very specific topic that is so interesting. No one talked about this during the 6th week, which is women in governance. Tell us a little bit more. How did you get closer to this topic, and what is the thing that you would like to share about it?
Okay, so basically how I got into governance, I'm actually quite new in this field. I had issues with where I was working. And, there was an issue of sexual assault that happened. And in my country, at that time, I didn't even know where to go. Like, you want to go to report it to the police, but you can't. Like, I did go actually to the police, and I did not get assistance of some sort. And I also faced challenges that the police officer that I was reporting my case to was also trying to ask me out on a date. The very same time I'm trying to give out a statement of sexual assault and harassment. And it became such a huge challenge because I was just like, okay, if I'm already facing these challenges, you can just try to imagine how many women are actually going through this. So I thought I would just start by, having a movement of women who've gone through these challenges. But then I understood that I can't always be being an activist and shouting and I'm always angry and bitter and just trying to have someone listen to what I have to say. And I was just like, you know what, I actually need to start being hands-on with what I need to be done. I'm always trying to hold the government accountable, but what am I doing as a person? So that's when I got into governance. I did not even study anything related to political sciences or any of that sort. So that's how I got into activism. Next thing I know, I was advocating in Parliament, and I was advocating in all these big platforms, and just trying to work on policy making and trying to make changes on leadership of women, but also having women be able to raise their voices and say enough is enough. This is what we need to happen.
It's a beautiful, beautiful cause, but it must be hard to be in this place right now, right? You have to really fight for your credibility, for your status on a way, so that people are listening to you.
It is. And I found myself actually in this committee that we have of the National Youth Council, I'm actually the only woman. And I was just like, what is happening? Where are all these women? Aren't you having issues? Why aren't you talking about this? Why aren't you on these platforms to make your voices heard? And we live in, we have to work in patriarchal systems, and we have men dominating the systems, and you just have to learn to lead from the bottom. And I'm always advocating to have more women on these platforms, so that at least I'm not the only one who's talking about these issues. And you find that majority always rules. So in these platforms, men are always dominating. So you're just there like, okay, I can't be the only one voting on this. I need more women and girls backing me up to say, no, this is what we want and this is how we want it.
So, what has changed in your life since you stepped on into this path? Because even in your private life, you must have been more confident. Is your environment very friendly around the change that you're becoming a very strong woman, or you have been always like this?
No, not even. I actually grew up as a very timid person. I wasn't very outspoken, but I had a lot to say. I'll just keep everything to myself. But then I started realizing that this was actually hurting me, and I needed to, explode in a way. So that's how I came about and started becoming an activist. And I realized that a lot of women and girls were more interested, and they shared the same sentiments. So I don't know, I just felt the need to be the voice, and that's how I ended up being very vocal about what I had to say. But also, it has put me in a very vulnerable position, because you can't just be saying anything. Anything can be held against you. I could say something, and the next day it could be twisted into something else. So I have to be very careful about how I present myself on social media, even in public, just how you dress, how you talk, how you walk, because you're now just representing a whole lot of people. And there are certain things that you need to compromise just to at least be presentable and also relevant in this sphere. But also, it has been a quite interesting journey. Governance is not a field for the faint-hearted. You need to learn to be very strong. I'm a very emotional person, always trying to cry, but I realized that this field is not for softies. You have to work hard. You need to learn to be strong, have a voice, but also have a backup. You cannot trust anyone, because everyone is always out to get you, but you just fight and you soldier on. Um, but then there's beautiful sides to this. I've met really incredible women and really amazing people in this industry, globally as well. I've realized that there's a lot of people fighting for change, and just networking and having to work in solidarity with all these people, and just I'm learning each and every single day. And also, I'm just learning every day that actually here nobody knows anything. Even if someone says, no, I'm an expert, they're not. They're still learning. So it's okay to come with whatever you think you know, and you will learn as you move, and you will grow through it.
That's beautiful what you said, and it's so empowering, because everyone who is listening now, you really have to see that whoever came to this platform to speak, all of them admitted that they are all on a learning path, and some of them are really influential
Yes.
people, and some of them really are coming from a
Mm,
place where they worked 30, 40 years. We even have a wiser generation here, and everyone is saying that
mm.
learning never stops. You are never an expert. Expert is something that you are
Yes.
working towards, but you will never 100% master anything, because there's always something new coming up, right?
Right, and that is so true. Very profound, and we need to allow ourselves to be teachable. You cannot know everything. Allow yourself to be teachable. It doesn't matter if you're a leader. I like, there's something about leaders whereby they think, no, they dominate, and you are there to serve. So you're always learning from the people that you're serving. What do they need? What needs to happen? How can we go about it? That's a process of learning. And just just allowing yourself to be humble and, just patient enough just to listen and learn and look and just observe what needs to happen. That's how we learn and that's how we grow.
I'm laughing because you are so confident about and passionate about what you believe in, that I'm just looking at you like, well, yes, she has to be there. She has to go for this path because it's just created for you. So, Pearl,
Thank you.
in the action, how does it look like? What are you working on? What are the things that you're organizing, or how does it look like to become like someone working in governance, doing actions, representing people? How does it look in the real life?
Okay, so currently, as part of the Interim National Youth Council, we're working on a youth employment summit. So we're trying to, because there's, this huge gap within, just the economy. We're looking at youth unemployment that is pretty high in my country, and we're working towards that, but also one that is inclusive. We're trying to work on inclusive policy reforms that we need to be working on, ones that are inclusive and, cautious of women's needs, young women's needs. There's a lot of sexual harassment, gender-based violence within the workplaces. We're trying to create lucrative but also harmonious working environments for women and youth, inclusively people living with disabilities as well. And we're trying to work towards creating employment platforms and environments that are very safe for everyone, inclusive, representative, because we also have the LGBTQI communities, and we came together and saying, okay, yes, women have rights, but also people with disabilities, and all these other groups, and we're trying to work towards that. But also I have a foundation, but it's more of a movement whereby I have young women and adolescent girls. I'm trying to create a platform where women can be able to talk and voice out their concerns, but in a way that is constructive, because you can just shout and scream, but it doesn't make sense. You need to have depth, you need to have content, you need to be able to know and just have the confidence to be able to um, speak your concerns, speak your ideas. So I'm trying to create a platform where women get to voice out their concerns, but also equip them with life skills. Because I'm aware that there's a lot that is happening. I'm also mentoring these girls that are trying to become activists, but also women in decision-making roles, because we lead in every platform. It can either be a household. You need to learn how to lead from your household, from your community, to the company that you're working for, or your own company. How do you work towards that? How do you make sure that you're relevant? Because as much as we want women in decision-making platforms, but are you even deserving of being in that role? We're not just trying to have women, uplifting women, just having women on these platforms. Do you deserve to be there? Are you qualified to be there? If you're not, how do we get you qualified? How do we make sure that you're not just another woman with a pretty face, just benefiting from pretty privilege? We're trying to work way against that. Be a woman, so that even when people look at you, they're not just saying, oh, she's so beautiful, she's so, they, as much as they say that, it's nice, but also have someone say, wow, she is so brilliant, she's so smart, I'm so inspired by her, before you start mentioning, oh, she's so sexy, she's so beautiful, she's so, you know um but also I'm part of a movement named Transform Lesotho Initiative, whereby we're working towards having a women's league under that, which will be headed by me. I'm currently the vice president of the movement. We're working towards having women in governance. Now we're looking at women in health, women in tourism, women in trade. Just having those, it's more of a mini, or a mini government. whereby youth are leading, and they get to work on policy reforms. They get to work on governance. Some of them are even in political movements, and we like that because that means we get to lead from a very low base and trying to move forward and push forward, or pretty much to the top, trying to have that linkage and that chain. And it's all based on youth and women and all these other communities coming together to work together and making sure that we are all represented. Sorry, I
Beautiful. I
said a
learned
lot.
so much. It's okay. I learned so much from you. We have a few more minutes to conclude the conversation, but I learned something today. It was pretty privilege. I love the word,
Yes.
and it's something that I heard from you for the first time, and it's really true what you said. That yeah, sometimes some people have this, and then they are nothing else, just that, and people believe
Mm,
that, oh yes, that's only a pretty girl, and then there is nothing behind.
yes.
It's so true. And also about positive body image, because it's kind of like all about this, the instant gratification today, that people want to be seen, want to be beautiful, using all those filters, and then they are just cutting the tree under themselves, because then they look into the real mirror and they cannot really take it, because it's totally different from the picture what they see. So it's a lot of work to be done. On the last note of this conversation and this very short interview, and I'm sure we will have more collaboration in the future, because we are working on very, very similar things. But on the last note, what would
Great.
be your message to the young and the wise out there? How could they be bold together?
Honestly, there's so much power in solidarity, working together. There's so much beauty in it, and it's very rewarding knowing that you have a sense of belonging in community, with people that pretty much share the same values, and if they're not the same, they're pretty much aligned to our core values as individuals. So unity is power. We continue to talk about this. It's not just a statement, it comes from, old doctrines, and we need to start working together, networking together. It's such platforms like this, like the Global Empowerment Summit, where we get to network. I get to know what someone else is doing abroad. I get to know what they're doing, and I can learn from that. And we're trying to have global citizenship, whereby we're saying, I'm supporting Russia, I'm supporting Indonesia, and we're trying to work together to empower youth to make sure that we have relevant, effective leadership. And it's a network. The world is an oyster, and we just have to exploit it and use it to our advantage to make sure that everyone is coming together and working for peace, working for great governance, working for change, positive change.
Beautiful. I like the global citizenship idea. And also Simfong is saying diversity, unity. Yeah, something like this. That's a good word, Simfong. Thank you very much for
Mm.
saying this. So thank you
Yes,
very much
thank you.
for being here. It was amazing to have a little sense of what you do. And if people would like to reach out to you, I believe they can find you on LinkedIn, right? That's the right platform.
Yes, they can. Yes, they can find me on LinkedIn and all these other social media platforms such as Instagram and Twitter. I get to share some of my content there. Well, I'm not very active. I just post the work that I've done, but I'm very open to collaborating, especially with other youth in governance, but also women that are leading their initiatives. We can learn so much. We can collaborate, and now something big might come out of it. And I'm always willing to collaborate with everyone. I need more women in governance, more women in parliament. My country is going for elections next year. I won't be running, but I'm campaigning for youth. We're trying to advocate and lobby more youth in parliament. Hopefully, I'll get to run for the next elections, God willing. But yes, let's have more youth, more women involved, and I'm really happy. And thank you so much. It's such an honor to be on this platform. and to be able to engage with you on this level.
Thank you very much, and I'm wishing you all the success. Let's see you next year. Where you go, and I'm
Yes,
really wishing and crossing fingers for you from here, from Kuala
yes.
Lumpur.
Thank you
Thank you
so
very much for
much.
being here. Thank you very much, and enjoy
Thank
your
you.
day, and
Bye.
we see each other very, very soon. Thank you.
Thank you.